Alright, sorry about the late start. Had to fix an issue with OBS before I started today. Always a fun way to start the stream. So today, we're going to focus on mostly the ravine in the jungle. But we will see where it takes us. We might end up doing a little bit more. Hello there. Nice to see you again. How are you today? Good morning. I started this area a while back, but I've been working on making some trees so I can finish up this area because I have something specific in mind. And they aren't done quite yet, but we can still do some of the other stuff that I have in mind because this will be one of the more time-consuming areas. This is just a ravine in the jungle, which you'll find a little bit outside of the area of the last tech demo. So we'll go up ahead a little bit. So I've already done a little bit here. Mainly just setting up pathways, things like that. It's coming along. I am still waking up, so I think this will help me. Oh yeah, we've got a nice little waterfall in here. There is plenty of work to do. So the last thing I was focusing on, putting little embankments, things like that, like this area, or over here. Actually, I need to fix this while I'm looking at it, because I'm going to forget. I noticed this in a screenshot the other day. Perfect. Slow down the camera a bit. How's everyone doing this morning? Start. I think we'll start right over here. Which I actually need to get a couple things off the side of this that weren't supposed to be there, like a log. Like what's going on there? Yes, I'm exactly the same. I can't stop. "3 p.m. It sounds like you're probably very far from me. It's 9:30 in the morning for me." So I'm just getting a few of these things off the side of the wall here that aren't supposed to be here. In fact, looks like there's a bunch of them, so let's just do it this way. Where could that be? Probably somewhere. I'm pretty good, I'm having a lot of trouble waking up today for some reason. I think it's just been a long week. But this is the part of the week I was looking forward to, so that is pleasing. I've also been wanting to continue working on this ravine, but I didn't want to do too much on this specifically before the stream, because I will work on this game for 12 hours straight, which is perfectly healthy. Making sure I got the rest of the smaller things that weren't supposed to be on the side here. We don't need that. So yes, forgive me as I'm waking up. I have a monster sitting here, so hopefully I'll wake up quite a bit more in just a minute. But yeah, the idea here is eventually, we're not going to do this part today because I don't have the trees ready, but I'm going to have a lot of trees coming down the side of this cliff here, large roots and all that, and pathways through it. We've already got a couple, so I actually need to paint one right here. Can't brain. There we go. Yeah, I've never really been a morning person, but especially today, I just woke up and I was like, I can't get out of bed. Do it. Oh yes, I love trees with massive roots, so I'm making several of them right now for this area. Definitely need to remove a few trees in the way here. So let me see where the nearest path is so I can just go ahead and connect them. Oh, it's actually really close. Somehow I managed though. I got out this morning, still waking up, and I was moving my 3 dawn redwoods to a new pot. So I got that done. That's something. Hello there. Thanks for dropping in. But my biggest achievement today will be what we do with the map. So we're going to remove some of these trees that are in the way. I actually meant to remove those roots too, so I think we'll take care of that. Let's see. Trees. Exactly. Yeah, it's actually really fun to, or relaxing to repot them. But the soil they were in was more of a temporary thing that I needed to replace, so figured I would go ahead and take care of it while I had the motivation. Just need to make sure this is cleared out enough to be reasonable to walk through. And then we're going to return back to the ravine. But this is another one of those things that if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget for the next month. Now that is not optimal. Let's move this tree out of the path. There. That's a good spot. And back we go. Definitely need to do some landscape sculpting too, but for right now we'll work on covering up these spots that are more empty on the sides. So I'm using a combination of stuff. Take a look. I'm mostly focusing on putting a bunch of mossy meshes in this area. I think I know which ones I'm going to use. Okay. We are going to use mostly these, just not that large. We'll use some others as well. We don't want it to look the same the whole way, but it looks so much better if you have these walls filled out instead of blank like some of them are right now. Oh, you're right. That was so rude of me to do to the tree, but you know, sometimes you just have to do these things. It may be a little bit rude in the moment, but it was necessary. And I agree. I love having lots of moss everywhere. Mainly in forests and jungles. It just looks so nice. This will do. But you know what? I think I would actually prefer something else right here. Maybe this one. Something that curves with it a little better. Yeah, beautiful. Oh yes, we always need ferns. And there are many more to come. I have a thing for ferns. They look awesome in forests. So you have to have lots of them, naturally. Probably gonna put something else right here. Mainly just wanted to see how this looked. Not quite the vibe. So we're gonna put one of these. Oh yes, we should probably have more ferns than any other game, ever. It's one of our features. You like ferns? Play Echoes of Extinction. We have them. I think I have something like 300,000 ferns in the redwoods right now. We don't need to talk about it. Oh yes, Ferns of Extinction. I love it. I propose a name change. Where's Islander? We need to talk to him about this. It's very important. You know, this is the thing with these megaskins. A lot of them don't really fit that well into areas where I want them to. Always takes a little messing around to get it to work the way I want it. Oh, where'd my other mesh go? It disappeared. Is that it? Haha! More moss, of course. I agree. We need all of the ferns. Every one of them in existence, probably. This one can be a little bit smaller. I just don't want a bunch of these empty spots. We don't do that here. There we go. That's a beaut. Okay, I was making sure that was what I thought it was. Hundreds. Oh no. We need to think bigger. Hundreds of thousands. See, you could just... Let's see. I think I have some ferns in this area somewhere. You know what? I actually might be replacing them in this area. So hold on, hold on. We can't just not have ferns. You're absolutely right. Let's say this one here. You could set it to some crazy number. Yes, I wish they maybe they grow somewhere in my area, but I don't know about it. Um, I wish they were more common where I am because I think they're interesting. Well, so see, we could just do something crazy like we set it to yeah. Look at that. Burns. Now we're not actually going to do that, but we could, and that's the point. We will use them though. Oops. Let's set it to. Will they match each other? We have to set their scale. We want it to vary a little bit. We'll just put a few down for now. Mainly just so I can look at it and say, oh yeah, I was going to do this. Oh my god. Those are way bigger than I meant for them to be. Let's set that to like... Okay, yes. That's more normal. However, we don't need that many. Put a few here and there. We just have to feel it out with our hearts. That's a good fern spot. See that? That's a solid fern spot. Oh yeah, same here. They really make areas like this look so much better. Something about them. That, however, is floating. We don't need that. There we go. This rock does need to move just a little bit. Actually, no. It looks good enough where it is. But since I was sculpting the landscape a couple days ago in this area, we'll find a few floating things here and there to fix. I'm really big on if I can putting them in places that make sense. think this kind of thing is why I've really not started, why I really like plants and trees in real life too. Just doing this kind of thing in game. Oh, there's the one we added last time that I made. These ferns actually also were made by me. At some point, I'll have them up on Fab, but I haven't used them in any of my own packs yet. Good call on the ferns, though. That's something this area needed. I've been so focused on embankments. But it helps fill out some of these empty spots. There we go. If I can, I'm going to make this a longer stream today. I can't guarantee it, but I'm going to try. I have a lot of school and stuff like that still to do, but, you know, sometimes I just have to be a little bit irresponsible. Just enough. I know it would be kind of a strange plant to grow at home, but I have considered recently getting some ferns to grow in my yard. But this is going to be our thing. When you play the game and you see the ferns everywhere, just know you were a part of this decision. Because ferns are amazing. Exactly. If I can, I plan to do this as my job and work on the game full time, so it is indeed investing in my future. Put a few more up here and then get back to what we were doing. Yeah, that's kind of what I worry about with my yard too. I guess it's not necessarily dry. I live in a really humid place, so that might not necessarily be the issue, but the soil here is not optimal. It's very clay-like. That's why I don't really have a good option for putting my various redwoods in the ground. It just wouldn't be great in my area. Look at that, we placed about 600 of them. So this definitely needs a little bit above it. I think this is where I stopped. Yes. And it's true. Everybody here is a part of the game. A lot of times you will say something that I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then it ends up in the game. I don't know if I'm thinking the right thing for rocky soil, but if it's like what I'm imagining, the redwoods would love it. Maybe you should grow some of those. I'm a little biased. You know, I'm gonna put a few different kinds of ledges here. Oh yes, there are insane amounts of pretty much every plant in this game. Yes, we will use this. Oh yeah, for sure. There were a couple temples. There was one in a much earlier stream that's in the middle of a small lake. And there's another one, the Horseshoe Crab Temple. That one's more of a joke, but I had to put it in the game. I had to. I can't even imagine trying to write anything in German, but I guess in some ways it doesn't look that difficult, but I hear it is, so I'm really not sure. But I know English is also terrible. So there is that. There we go. A small thing, but I wanted that spot filled. So now we're gonna pack these together. A small but worthy optimization. Actually, no, we're gonna throw one more thing in this area. The main goal is if you're in a smallish area where you're putting a bunch of things, reusing the same ones, mainly with nanite, but this will work for anything. Reusing the same ones is a very good idea. That is just too dark every time it goes in a shadow. Let me make sure. That's what I thought. I don't know why Megascans has this set this way by default. No ambient occlusion. There we go. Now they look right. I knew they were too dark. I don't understand why Megascan sets it that way. It's a fantastic boulder, isn't it? But I don't know. I feel like English has a bunch of really nonsensical rules. This is one of those things that takes more time than other parts, but that's usually the kind of thing I save for the streams, because there are a lot of things that I've streamlined that wouldn't really be that fun to watch. I really hate that bug. It just disappears. Completely normal. Now it's back. What is the assignment, though? What do you have to do? Spanish would definitely be a hard thing to switch to from German. At least I imagine. I really don't know enough about German to say, but I don't think they're very similar. I'm glad to hear it. I want it to be a chill place. Look at that. All of these are so much better now. Why did they have that disabled by default? So the thing I enabled a minute ago, it's called ambient occlusion, and it's one of the things that controls how a material reacts with light. And for some reason, Megascans have that disabled by default. And it's very important. So I don't know. I just love cramming together a bunch of rocks. It's the way to go. Yeah, some things aren't as time consuming as this, and some things, like this, can take hours. Of course, I'll have to come back and make some open spots, but usually I just like to lay these out first, and then come back and remove a few things. That might not be the most efficient way to do it, but it's the way I do it. Sure. It's the same one. Okay. I have to check these people. Yeah, I think they do want to give me extra work. They're just like, he does not need to have an easy time doing this. I agree, and it's one of the big benefits of using nanite like we do in this game, that you can have massive amounts of models and it actually performs better if you do, instead of using one big one. But it's very helpful for giving it that realistic look. It doesn't quite fit. I'll take a couple of these. I admit, I woke up about maybe 20 minutes before the stream started. I don't know why I was so tired today, but I'm getting there. I just wanted to make kind of a layered moss look like this. It's coming out pretty well. Few moss mounds. I don't blame you. Is kindergarten German? I guess that makes sense. I'm learning a little bit. One of the guys on my other team for my smaller game, he is German, so I'm learning a little bit. I think we'll use this. So you also say kindergarten in Germany? I did not know this. showcasing my ignorance. I did not know that, but now I do. I'm gaining more knowledge by the moment. Before you know it, I'll be speaking German. I actually don't think I've ever said a German word in my life. I feel like I should probably learn a little bit, at least. This is probably an excessive amount of detail for one area, but if you ask me, is there really such a thing as an excessive amount of detail? What even is that? Oh, that makes sense. I've noticed that too, that the few words I have heard, they're very similar sometimes. And now we can pack all of these into one. Oops. One actor. Oh wait, almost missed that. Have an empty space here. So we need to fill that up. Perfect. This will do nicely. In fact, we could just use two of them because it won't really be obvious that there are two mixed together here. Except that it sticks out a little bit right there. But this can be remedied. Excellent. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know we had any words at all in common. But I am learning. This is the problem when I mix a bunch of these together. Finding them all to put them into one actor. Pedestal. Where did that go? Um, for tropical plants, yes, from what I've looked up. I could be wrong though, but from what I know, a pretty wide variety of tropical plants can grow in the water. But that being said, that's one of those things I still need to touch up in this area. So this also makes it where if I wanted to, I could drag and drop this somewhere else. Every single time, how they disappear like that, it gets so old. Well, it's coming along. It's coming along. But yes, I think I don't really want these in the water specifically. So we're going to remove some of them. Yes, I agree. One of the next trees I'm going to grow in real life is a tropical tree because I've never had one. And it sounds like it'll be pretty easy to keep it happy. But there are some of these that it just doesn't look right having them directly in the water. So we will get rid of those. See, like that. That one's just completely underwater. It's a little bit odd. That's pretty awesome. I would love to visit a rainforest just in general. I guess I've been to one, but it wasn't anything crazy. It was in Mexico. But I will leave that tree in the water. I actually might put a couple more. Maybe some mangroves. Perhaps. Yes. It's a vibe. Oh boy. That one's a little bit excessive. I like to have at least a couple of them clumped together because that's what they do in real life. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. I would love that. Ooh. I really wanted to go see Chichen Itza, but I didn't end up having time last time I went. But I would have loved it. That's a bit crowded right there. Just wanted to see how it would look. I think if we reposition this one, it could be good. I can remove this tree and use this instead. You know, that's a valid point. I'm sure that if you were building a dam, you'd probably die pretty often. I don't want this completely blocking this area, but I kind of wanted one that was overhanging the waterfall a little bit. I think it'll work pretty well. I think the main issue here is space to walk. So if I raise it up and maybe put a rock or something under it, that seems pretty reasonable to me. Yeah, it would definitely be a little bit of a difficult one to get balanced so that they weren't dying constantly. Yes. I like it. Fantastic idea. If I had any say in character-related things, it would already be happening. Yeah, so I'll have it kind of growing off of these mossy rocks so that I can lift it up high enough. Oh. And while we're right here, we can go ahead and fill in this wall too. Let's see. I'm gonna look at this certain set of meshes, see if there's anything good in there that we could use. Perhaps. I think that would fit pretty well, for the most part. But I saw there was some with roots, and that might do even better. Yeah, I like the look of that. Just gonna pull a few of these up so we can see which one fits the best. So this one looks a little bit more like what you'd see in a forest. Dry leaves and all that. I know this has it too, but I want the roots. So I think we can make this work. Needs to be a little bit bigger. There we go. See, to me it fits because of the huge mangrove roots right here. It makes sense. Do I even pronounce that right? That's my question. Is it more mangrove or mangrove? I always wonder that when I say it. Thank you. Definitely plan on having a wider variety of them. And they need a little bit of work anyways. The bark material isn't as good as I would like it to be. But I've been making some. So we'll probably end up adding those pretty soon. Now we just need a little something to fill this spot. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Google it after the stream, because every time I say it, I'm like, did I just say something dumb? Almost got it. Just need to cover up that tiny little spot there. So we can just use another of the same rock, because that'll make it cheap performance-wise. And I don't think anybody's really going to think that much about this rock. Yeah, I think that never comes out quite how I want it to when I say that. And put those together. And there was something I talked about adding to the redwoods a while back, and I never got to finish it. So we're probably going to do that soon because it's now almost done, at about 95%. I was actually working on it right before the stream started. At the very last minute, as you do. English can be painful. Now here, I think it would be good to make a way down into the water right here. So I'm thinking either a natural looking staircase of some sort or an actual staircase. Since this already has some structures like the bridge and all that. Oh yes. I go through phases where I'm more inspired to work on one area versus another. So that's usually when I'm jumping around. I haven't yet, but I have some to use. I just haven't actually used them yet. Let's see. There were a couple that were older ones that I need to get rid of. That looks like one of them. Yeah, two. Here we go. So this is one of the ones I downloaded. There we go. So I will be using it, but I haven't been back in the desert very recently. I really can't decide what I want to use for stairs over here. Or something of that sort. Let's take a look real quick and see if there's any kind of slope that I could download. That actually might work. I'll just change the material on it. You'd be surprised. It actually probably would work out pretty well. I do all of my own scans just with my phone. It's really not very difficult, it's just a little bit time consuming. Oh, I'm sure they'll go to the desert too. I plan to put quite a few things there that are going to be interesting. My goal is to try and have enough in each biome that people don't want to stick to just one. Just making sure I haven't already downloaded this. Ah, I have. That's why I checked. So we could use it. It just needs a different material. Mushrooms. We do have some in the game. There should be more. So that's definitely something I could do. Sometimes I consider doing a surprise stream where I just pop up out of nowhere and stream for however long I'm on. I'm curious how that would be received. These will work. Just need to make them fit the area a little better. So let's see what we want to use. Yes. The mushrooms that we have right now aren't on the map because they're being worked on by our programmers right now to make them work for what we need them to. Yeah, I think I should start on the desert pretty soon because, well, I already have started on it, but I mean, more. You know, let's do slightly different material. We'll customize this one a little bit, but we'll drop it on here. So I don't really want the black rock like that. I want a ground texture, probably. Oh yes, I agree. I think flyers will be great for... Sorry. I think flyers will be great for the desert. Maybe mud. See how that looks. Ooh, maybe not. Possibly this. Just have to try a few things out, see how it looks. I think that works pretty well. We'll use that. We're going to move this to the side because I think I'm going to put that somewhere else. But if we make this big enough, it might work for what I'm trying to do. There we go. I think I might have lost connection for a moment. I know there's some construction going on in my area, so I apologize if that interrupts the stream at all. So I think this will work. Just might need to do a little bit of blending together to get it the way I want it. I am back. Yeah, I think I lost connection for a moment. There's construction in my area, and I guess it's affecting my internet right now. Completely unacceptable. We can't allow this. Go. Yeah, so I'm gonna mix a few of these together. Make a little slope down into the water. Right now, I still need to add the effect. So, well, we have this, but it also depends on the body of water. Some of them will look a little bit different. So I probably need to fix collisions on this. Let's take a look. Before I forget that too. That's what I thought. So that one doesn't have any yet. And neither does that. Unfortunately, we're going to have to add a little more than I usually do to the precision, because I intend for people to walk on this. Still not quite how I need it. That I'm not sure of. I mainly just handle the landscape, so I usually don't know a whole lot about the upcoming characters. But you are able to swim here, so you'll be able to swim if you go under, and making sure I'm using everything that we need here. I think that's right, but I'm not 100% sure. So those are good. We'll put those together. I'll have to actually come back and walk on this later and make sure that it is traversable. I'll probably need to make some changes to make it a little better to actually walk on. I thought so. It's good to hear because I would be excited for those. Okay. Oh, I actually did not mean to add this one. Let's... need to edit that, but maybe I can do it this way. Okay, perfect. That did the trick. But I still want to use that other one somewhere. I'm thinking somewhere in the middle of the water. Yeah, I also think of the Jurassic Park one, despite the flaws. So there are some spots down here that could use some touching up. It looks a little bit too repetitive. We'll use something else here. Let's see. Possibly this, but bigger. And That makes it a little bit too crowded. Let me experiment with this a little bit. I don't think I've seen that one specifically. I feel like most of the Jurassic Parks, in general, are that way after the first one, where it's okay, but it's not really amazing. Yeah, I agree. I'm planning on doing exactly that. Although this waterfall is definitely a little bit too small for it, but it will be good. There we go. That's more what I was going for. So that will work. Mainly I'm trying to cover up any rough spots that could use improvement. Oops. Yeah, if this spot wasn't so narrow right there, I probably would consider it right here. But I do have some plans for this area for later on. Ooh, yes. Definitely do it. Here I am already encouraging chaos. But you know what? I didn't bring it up. I think we could use something tall right here. And there are more rocks hiding on the side of that mountain. Cliff. I keep forgetting to go back and fix that so they stop spawning on the side of cliffs. Oh yes. Yeah, I'd be a little bit concerned. This is like the main thing that megascans are good for. Rocks. Excellent. This is exactly what I was looking for. Definitely needs to be bigger. And obviously it also needs to look a little bit different. So this one, we could reuse it a little bit and blend them together. Make this one a little bit smaller. Thank you, I really appreciate it. I definitely love working on it. Especially having all this variety here makes it so fun to work on. Never really run out of things to do. Might use one of these ledges, we'll see. I think this will work. Yeah, we'll use this. Just need to change the material. Big boys. I'm really glad to hear that. I definitely love doing the streams. It's relaxing. And gives me an excuse to work on the map when I would normally be doing school right now. And I will always take that excuse. Usually if I use one model, I like to try and use it more than once. So we're going to toss one down here too. And then for this, we can just use a normal rock. But it would be preferable if I used something that's nearby. And we're nearby a specific mossy rock. So let me see if I can make this work. That's not quite gonna work right there. So let's use something a little bit different. I want something closed. Yes, it does move when you walk through it. Although I need to finish placing some things to ensure that continues happening. But yes, the intention is for it to move when you walk through it. There we go. That fits. And since we're reusing the same materials so many times, that helps with performance as well. So lots of things like this to keep in mind when we make really dense areas like this. It can look good and also run good. The ocean, though, will be the best experience when you walk through that. That one will have the most realistic motion, but this one does still react when you walk through it. Did I miss a spot? I did. Let's break this. Then I'm going to remove that. Okay, now just fill in this area. Whoops. Almost would have had this big empty space here. Can you imagine the disaster? The absolute shame. This might work. Let's see how it looks. It's a little bit weird. I wonder if it would look better if there's more than one. Yeah, that's not going to fit. So we'll put more of the rocks that are next to it. A couple of these. I want it to somewhat match the scale of the ones around it, so a little bit smaller. We can make this work. And then just a tiny space right there. We could just fill that with a moss mound. Look at that. Multiple spaces. I almost missed. I would have never lived down the shame. We have that in common. I can't wait for everybody to play it. There we go. Now just have to make sure we select all of these and remake that little tax level actor. Ah, you're right. It is generational shame. Your insight has been very valuable. Now I can truly understand why I feel this way. That should be all of them. This is why it's taken me so long to get around to finishing this. Just the amount of detail I want to put in this area. I want it to look really good. I probably will end up ending the stream at the usual time because I am quite hungry. But that's not just yet. I think we're going to fill in this area a little bit more. I'll just do it manually. Few of these. Try not to have them perfectly level with, look at that, more rocks on the side. I try not to have them perfectly level with the other rocks around them, because I feel like that looks weird. I really appreciate it. Before this game, I was terrified to show anybody the stuff I worked on. You just never feel quite the same about your own work as seeing somebody else's. As much as I like that look right there, it doesn't really make sense for that rock to be completely blocking the water flow. I think that's just how I am. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so if it doesn't feel perfect to me, I don't really want people seeing it, so it was difficult to let that go. See, at least that doesn't completely block the water flow. Oh, there's just a random tree here. I never even noticed. That's also an issue I need to fix. Some of these rocks are duplicated inside of each other, which doesn't really cause any problems necessarily, but it's not ideal. That one. Now I see why I had it there, covering up a rough spot. You're right. I think it was. I would absolutely take a shower in this. Just saying. Trying to find how many of these are accidentally duplicated. I noticed it the other day. like I'll have to go through and correct that soon. So this rock kind of just looks like it's floating. I'm just gonna add a little support to it. Oh, that's true. There was this spring I went to, I think it's in Austin, and it was absolutely freezing. It was Jacob's Well. So there's a cave there too that's pretty famous, or infamous. What do I have selected right now? I have so many things, can't even keep track. Oh, that's what I have selected, which is what I was looking for. Deleting any more rocks floating on the wall. As cool as floating rocks are, it's just not the vibe. I feel you're an understanding bunch of people. You'll get it. I've been finding them everywhere I go over here. So I'm just going to take care of it. I am glad to be back working on this ravine because I think this will be one of the nicer areas of the jungle. Maybe. We'll see. There are so many things I haven't done yet. There we go. We just deleted about 1,000 rocks that were hidden behind others. Another reason I'm thankful for nanite, because it'd be a very bad time if it mattered nearly as much as it used to. How many models we were using. Oh no, I'm terrified of heights, so I will choose underwater every time. Although I didn't really go very far underwater. I just went there to swim in the spring, which is pretty nice, except for how cold it was. There we go. Just wanted to fill out this wall a little bit. Perfect. Yeah, there have been deaths in that cave, I believe, so it's a little concerning, but if you just steer clear of the cave, should be okay. Allegedly. We are just about to end. Do you know which ruins it was that you were wanting to see before I stop the stream? We will go to the horseshoe crab one is more of a joke than anything. That I wanted it to be a little homage to the streams and the participation for the horseshoe crab. So we'll go look at the other one that's a little more serious than that one. I think it's also not very far from here. Actually, you know what? Let's look at both of them. Because they're both pretty nearby. Aha! It's just outside of the area I have loaded, so I can see the hole in the mountain. So that's where the horseshoe crab cave is. Temple. This will take just a moment. Oh yes. The horseshoe crab is higher being. Worthy of our admiration. Oh yes. There I'll be a part of it too. The horseshoe crab cult. Anybody who wants to join me, I will be there. We will play. I don't know what we'll do. Cult stuff, probably. But we'll do something. But yes, I think that's the other ruins I was talking about. So I'll go to that one after this loads. Always fun rebuilding the landscape. Yes. Look at this. We could have a pretty powerful cult with these numbers. I don't know what we're going to do, but maybe we just need to, make sure everybody else is respecting the horseshoe crab as they should, or we'll be forced to take drastic measures. It's not our fault. We know what we have to do. We could all be different kinds of dinosaurs so we can all strengthen each other. Yes. Not gonna lie, sometimes I think about making horseshoe crab memes and posting them. Okay, so this is the horseshoe crab temple. Okay, I couldn't remember if I'd painted a path over here yet, so it looks like I still need to. But this is the entrance, and it's down in here. It's basically just this pit of water right now. And some glowworms. And there you are, the stone horseshoe crab. Probably the best area in the game, if you ask me. Now, we'll go to the other one. I'm glad to hear it. See if we can load all of this. There is still plenty of work to be done over in this area, so keep that in mind, but I have done a little bit since the last time it was on the stream. Exactly. It'll be like that, not quite to that scale, but kind of like the really tall mountain I suddenly forget the name of in Skyrim. I'm the same way. I haven't been able to make a good, it sounds so simple, but a good model for glowworms. Something about it throws me off. So those are literally lily pad stems that I turned blue and made them glow. Let me fix the black landscape real quick. We use something called RVT for the landscape. So it is a performance optimization, but it means that when we move around too much to an area I haven't rebuilt virtual textures on recently, then we have to rebuild them again. But yeah, right now this area I need to get the water matching up, and I'm still working on this stream over here. But pretty soon I'm going to try and make some better glowworms for the caves because I love them. Yeah, the water's kind of temporary right now because as you can see it doesn't really match. But we have these little ruins. I would love to see those in person. Although I guess squishing one probably isn't ideal, but we have these ruins here. Looks like I need to fix this real quick. There we go. But yeah, there's not a whole lot here yet, but I'm basically out for some ruins. Oops. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking of when I was making it. I wanted that kind of look. But it's not done yet. I still need to do a little bit to make it better. For example, not having grass going through that bridge. That would be good. So, yeah, and I wanted a bunch of the fig trees here. It will be really nice though after some time. And you can see the redwoods off in the distance, and a few rocks. Alright, but it is time for me to grab some lunch, I think, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. But I will be back next week, and hopefully, if I get time this week, I'd like to do an extra stream if I can. And not a problem at all. I love that everybody wants to see it. But thank you all for dropping by. And I will be back next week, and hopefully before that too, for a random stream. Have a good day.